Thanks for doing this, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Welcome to MixChat. I'm not sure what episode this is going to be. 15, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, should be the 15th one already. I've talked to, a lot of different people, musicians, producers, engineers, songwriters. Basically people like who are our comrades, our colleagues behind the scenes, just to listen to their stories. To reconnect after so many years of not only the pandemic and lockdown and everything, but actually some of them also I've not seen in a long time. I also have not seen you. No, but last year we did something, right? With G?
Oh, yeah. It was a Chinese New Year song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Chinese New Year at Nescafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing guitar.
Yes.
G was producing, yeah.
G was one. But somebody commented and said, commented on me and said, hey, nice guitar, JD. It's like, because my name was a credit, they thought I played the guitar on it. It's like, no, I didn't play the guitar. So it's like, dash, I'll take the credit and say, yeah, thank you. Yeah. There is somebody just told me a story about the taking credits and all that, and there can be a whole other rabbit hole to go down into. So maybe you can start by introducing yourself. Who are you? For everyone out there. Yeah.
Cool. My name is John Jeeves. I am a songwriter, music producer in the Malay pop industry. And I've been doing this since 2018. Prior to that, I was a music director for Paranormal Records. And prior to that, I was an electrical engineer. So this electrical engineer gave up that career and switched to music.
So you're still some kind of engineer. Do you do some kind of engineering?
I do. I still do mix engineering. Yeah. Yeah.
That is super cool, man. I know last time you worked at should I say what a workplace? This Ola, at the Perkeso building. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought you worked at Perkeso. I thought, so anything social security, Perkeso, I can contact you. Is it? So it's like, hey, bodoh lah. I was just being stupid lah, bodoh.
Yeah, the firm was based there a long time ago. Yeah.
So what you been up to, man? The past 2 years or so. I mean, I did catch up with you, of course, the last time we just talked about the session we did.
Yeah.
But firstly, how's the pandemic been lah?
It's been a crazy ride just because we didn't know what was going to happen next to the country and to the economy and to the industry. So 2020, when the first lockdown happened, all of us were of a different mindset at the time. We were just hustling like, this year is going to be our year, that kind of thing. And then COVID hit, and then the lockdowns happened and we couldn't do recordings. But because we had that momentum and there were still projects that were ongoing halfway, we just kind of doubled down and made ourselves finish those projects and see them through one way or another. So one example was Dato Siti Siapa Tak Mahu. I think we had recorded her already, and then the lockdowns happened. So I was in the post-production phase. I set up in the living room of my house, recorded guitars for that song, mixed it in my room. Sent the mix out to Aubrey. Aubrey checked it at his place and he was like, okay, good, and sent it off to Sterling, New Jersey for mastering. So at that point we were all like, we're just gonna fight this through. We don't care. We got to keep moving.
Yep.
And then that was 2020. It was a lot of that. And then 2021 we all kind of got used to it. So we can go out at this time. We have to wear a mask. We can do this. We can do that. We cannot do this. Cannot do that. So we tried to keep making the most of it throughout the whole of that year. And business was affected. My income did drop in the past 2 years, but fortunately there was still a lot of work to be done. And a lot of people were very innovative and they started coming up with these record from home projects where, I make the music, this artist has learned to record themselves at home. Let's put something together.
Yep.
And one of those was Malaysia Blessing, which was a Christian project.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, spearheaded by my friend Amy, who's based in London, but she managed to pull all these Malaysians together.
Amy Yo, shout out to Amy Yo.
Yeah, Amy Tan, I think.
Amy Tan, my goodness.
Hey, wait, Yo was before or after she got married? I can't remember. But to me, it's Amy Tan. Maybe Amy Yeo was before she was married. Maybe.
Oh,
I maybe.
whoops.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's fine. I think it's fine.
Please fact check us. Sorry, Amy, if you ever listen to this. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. I knew her from, I think, the expert from X. No, DUMC one or X Church thing?
She's from DUMC.
Yeah, but when? Where is it? Was it a DUMC project? I can't remember. Just so long ago. It's like 2007, 2008, around that time. Man. Yeah. Shout out to Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like 120 singers on that project. People recording themselves at home, and so I mixed it, put it together, and a couple of other like corporate projects as well with Faisal and ZRV.
Yep.
So those were like the record from home projects. So it was interesting in that it was something new, something different, and okay, thank God we still get to work to some degree. And then 2021 got a bit better with the restrictions lifting a bit. And then now it's 2022.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know about you or other people out there, but for me, from like fighting through the past 2 years, I'm like experiencing a bit of burnout already. Even though, so there's still work to do, but like the past 1-2 months, I kind of took it easy a little bit. Finished like some major projects up until April, and then May and June, I kind of like, okay, just like relax a little bit, put the brakes on before I fry my brain. And then now I'm like jumping back into gear again.
Right.
Yeah, July onwards.
That's well, thanks for sharing that lah, but it's real lah. Yeah, sometimes you can feel that because of the past 2 years you tried so hard to keep things going, afloat. You felt like you were running at, full throttle all the way, even though you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
It sometimes felt like that. But then for different people, it's different. Some people, they just like fell into like a state of like, I don't know what to do. But I guess different people across different spectrums react to situations differently. Yeah. But as I was talking to you before this, like what's work like now? For you obviously. Right, for those that don't know, you are working with Omar K.
Yeah,
at World Peace lah.
Yeah, in the World Peace office.
At the World Peace office. So obviously things have shifted. You were talking about how have they shifted from working there at the studio, and then now what has changed?
Right. Yeah. So I run my own studio. It's called Saw Studio. It's based in Omar's office, the World Peace office in Kota Damansara. Shall we share the floor?
Yep.
I think the best word to describe what it is now is hybrid. Like it's very, very hybrid. Like back in the day, it was all in person and all at the office. But through the pandemic, I built a second studio in my house. So I've got like a room in my house. I call that Saw Studio 2. And the other thing is we used to always write in person at the Kota Damansara office. But thanks to the pandemic, we've learned to use Zoom and now Microsoft Teams most recently. So we write more online now than we do in person. So we always write in a group of 3 people. So 3 of us will get on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and one of us will be running Cubase through voice meter into Zoom or Teams, and we will share our screen, and then we will just come up with ideas. And it's been really good. We've written a lot of songs that way. And if I'm not hosting, if I'm not leading the session, I can be lying down in my couch at home, looking at Cubase through the screen and just singing out ideas. And just the lead guy has to be in control of things.
That's actually fascinating, to explore that sort of a workflow, man. Yeah.
It works for some people, it doesn't for some others. Like for my team, somehow we kind of embraced it and we enjoy it. But I've written with other writers from the Faithful camp. They not so into the techie thing. They prefer the interaction and being in person, the more organic thing, and that works for them. So now, like I said, hybrid. I try to do both, a bit of both, depending on who I'm writing with.
Just to clarify, how do we spell soar?
Oh, SOAR.
Soar,
it's
right?
like flying.
Tabang,
Flying, not like a skin wound.
No. Let's not go there. Yeah. Okay, SOAR, soar.
SOAR,
Okay, I'm sure you get that right. So like,
Yeah. I think Audie told me, was like, are you sure you want to go with
Oh,
that?
and you know, Audie sometimes goes into some weird, creepy
Yeah.
stuff when he
Yeah.
with his posts.
Yeah.
I can think of one, but let's not go there.
Okay, yeah.
One of his interesting collections. I'm
Yeah,
sure you know what we're talking about, right?
It's, yeah,
Okay,
bodily
right.
functions. It's interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, somehow, he didn't dissuade me from that, and I went with Soar.
Sorry, yeah.
Because
yeah.
yeah.
No, because lah. Soar, that's a cool name, man. Yeah. So is there something different that, you know, this team works well together in this with this method as opposed to other people? What's the difference?
I think it's because our method of writing is very DAW based, as in we may come up with, say, a chord progression, or one of us may find the loop, and we'll put it there, and then we will start to hum or sing melodies. And once one of us has a melody that all three of us think, hey, that's pretty strong, that's pretty good, we will put it down in MIDI. So we will have like a monophonic synth, like a triangle wave instrument to play that melody. And we record it down against that loop. So it's very visual and audio at the same time. And we are looking at MIDI notes to define our melody. So because of that, it's easy to look at the screen. And because Cubase has this system as well where different notes have different colors, so at a glance I can tell if it's red, yellow, blue means the melody is CDB. So I can kind of, because I have like pitch hearing, so I can kind of tell, oh, okay, that B shouldn't be a B, it should be a B flat because here the chord is G minor. So it's, for us, it's visual in that sense. So it's easy for us to do the technology thing, look at the screen and listen to the sound. But for more organic songwriters who grab a guitar and they sing a melody and they just voice note the whole thing until they lay an idea down without looking at MIDI or looking at the DAW, then it's harder to embrace this thing because they are not used to translating what they hear in their head to what they see in the DAW. Yeah, so my guys, we are very like DAW based and Cubase based, which is something that we learned from Audie, and Audie taught that to Omar, and then Omar showed us this system, all of us who are under. So it's me, Iki Hugh, Firdaus Rahmat, and Omar K himself. So like we're all used to this method. Yeah.
That's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
It should definitely, you know, go and we could do something and you know, pick your brain apart on this.
Oh yeah.
Because is it also do you find you spend less time on mundane stuff like you know, if you get a bunch of people together in a room, sometimes you'll be like the conversation goes here, then you start talking about, hey, did you watch the, like what we did, like, hey, you watch the Top Gun already now? Hey,
it does tend to go that way in person, but for some songwriters that really works. Like the magic, like I think Mike Chan and some of his young writers, they will get together, they will have fun, talk, make jokes. Suddenly someone will play something and they'll be like, oh, that could be something. And then maybe they'll diverge to somewhere else and then they come. But at the end of the day, they come up with a really solid song. But for my team and I, when we hold a writing session, we will like set it in our calendars, like 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Let's meet. Send the link. Get in. And then when we enter into the Zoom meeting, it's like we're playing a fast-paced game like that, you know. And then we get a melody out in 2 hours. Yep. That's the goal. And then like, okay, chorus dah habis. Sedap tak? Ui, best chorus ni. Okay, pre-chorus. And then we move 8 bars behind. So it's like playing
like a real
online
time,
multiplayer game. And then when we get the melody, like, I got the melody. Okay.
Yeah.
Done for the day, and then 2 hours we wrap it up. We come back the next day to do lyrics.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's more fast paced. I think my team tends to get song requests that are okay. We need this, and we tend to work on a very fast timeline.
Yeah. That'd be so cool to just sit in on one of these sessions one of these days and just watch how you guys do it, man.
Yeah, we'd love to. Yeah.
And then Microsoft Teams, I was interesting. Well, why Microsoft Teams?
Oh. For me,
Mm.
it's because if you are on a free Zoom account, you all get kicked out after 40 minutes.
Oh.
So for the past 2 years, we have been getting kicked out every 40 minutes. And like, okay, let's get back in. And it's very cool because sometimes someone will be singing the most insane melody,
no.
right? And then we just get kicked out and then we laugh at it and then get back in. Last week, we were like, okay, let's try Microsoft Teams instead. And we tried it. I was like, oh, okay, just as well. And it's smooth and it's familiar.
Okay. All right.
So we probably switch to Teams now.
Right. I see.
Because there's no time limit even on the free accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Teams just seems to be a very kind of a overly complex thing because I think if you keep it simple, of course, it's good lah. You know. But Teams like I've seen people use it for like obviously online studying and all that. And everyone complains about it because it's fairly complicated.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe for those applications lah.
Yeah. In my case, it's pretty simple. So we use a virtual audio interface like Voicemeeter. Send our Cubase and our mic into Voicemeeter, and then just select Voicemeeter as the mic in Teams. And then the other people just join, and then I share screen. Yeah. And that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think this is a really good thing for us being used to this system because now it opens us up to writing with writers in other countries.
Yep.
So like my publishers are talking about, okay, we want to set you up with these songwriters in Vietnam. We want to set you up with these songwriters in Thailand or China. And if I'm used to this and I'm fast with it, then those guys on the other side just have to sing or hum their ideas and I can get it down and we can work. Yeah, so that's very exciting opportunities.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Let's go back, right? One of the things about this podcast also that I do, it's an opportunity for me to, of course, reconnect with people.
Yeah.
But sometimes to sort of rediscover some things about my friends, about friends, about colleagues, right? About other people in the industry. Of course, we've first met you. I first met you when we were playing for
GLS?
For the Global Leadership Summit thing, right?
I think it was GLS.
That's right.
Seremban.
Yeah.
Wow, was that really the first time? Had I not come to record here before? Probably not. I don't
think so.
Maybe that was the first one.
Yeah. Was there ever a GLS at Metro?
Metro.
Was there one?
Yeah. Maybe it was not called GLS, but it was something like GLS.
I remember there was one
like
year
thing.
It was held there.
Correct.
And I remember
you were coming to play guitar, I think
so.
And I was sort of a liaison for the sound team to
that could have been.
Yeah.
But again, don't know. That could have probably where we actually.
But it felt like I knew you before that because we were talking before you came, I think.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it's really hard to trace back exactly the first.
So long ago.
Yeah. I mean, I started out as a Pop Shavit fanboy. Like hearing all the songs already, like Mara Bahaya and Journey and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then
then that means that's more like 2006, 2007.
Yeah. And then I went for Rock the World, maybe Rock the World 10. Maybe it was 2010. And you were playing there, and I attended that one. But I think I hadn't spoken to you or known you yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then somehow, I think something to do with here, something to do with the studio. For some reason, I came here. Either that or it was the church thing.
I remember it was for Karen
Tan's
album. Shout out to Karen.
In Australia.
Yeah.
It was probably for Karen's album.
Right. Okay.
I think.
Because who was producing? I think it was Timothy. Was Timothy Lee? Shout out to Tim Lee. So he's another person who I owe a lot because he's the first person to hire me for anything. You see, back in his studio. He was the first producer that hired me for. I started out doing arrangement work, then sessioning, then eventually helping to engineer some sessions, then mix, and then. So, I definitely owe him a lot as well. And it's through Tim also. That's how I guess we connected.
Correct.
Yeah. So that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I remember. We have that. I still remember the photo, that the thing you posted. We took the photo and then.
Right? I was holding the art of mixing or something.
or something.
Yeah.
It was that funny. It was that funny photo lah. Okay, we can definitely dive back and go down memory lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe let's let for the ones that are watching this to know you a little bit more. How did you where did you grow up? How was your growing up like? What was music for you? You know, like, did you study music, and then at what point lah did you sort of know that music was gonna be your thing?
Oh man, good question. This is a long story. So I was born in Subang, and my family was based in Banting at the time because my dad was manager of Petaling Tin, the tin mining company. So I grew up there till I was about 9, I think. So here's the thing: my parents, when they found out that they were going to have a kid, they were already praying that I would have musical gifts. For some reason, they just felt that, oh, it'd be nice to have a kid who's musical. So they got what they prayed for.
Yeah.
And before I was born, they went to Yamaha and bought the organ.
Wow.
So the organ sat in the house for 7 years until my feet could reach the bass pedals. Played organ for a year and decided it's not cool enough because the cool kids in church were playing guitar. So I was like, oh, I don't want to play organ, I want to play guitar. So like, okay, and they got me a guitar at age 7. And the music schools wouldn't take me in because I was too young at that time. I think now they can kind of cater to kids with the smaller guitars. But at that time, you're not allowed to take guitar classes until you were 10, I think.
Because physically, right?
Yeah,
You know, for full size, it's hard.
Yeah. So the first guitar they got me, I played it so much it fell apart. Then they had to get me another one.
How can a guitar fall apart? What did you do to it?
I think it was maybe not even a kaput lah. I just played it, the back came off and everything. Yeah,
Okay.
I was 7, 8. Yeah, I think I used to play really hard.
Phew, you were like punk rock metal riffing on the thing, is it?
I don't know. I can't even. I think I was G, C, E minor D'ing my way through that guitar. Yeah, and then they got me a Yamaha classical. That was my second guitar, and yeah, then I really started to play a lot of guitar, go for classes, and yeah, it started at watching kids play guitar for church. At 9, my dad moved us to Ampang. So that's where we joined Metro Tab, and that's how I got to serve in Metro Tab. And, growing up in youth ministry, that was a big thing because, you know, youth ministry back in the day, 1 week there's no drummer, there's no guitarist, and it's like, who can play? I think I can play. And then you end up picking up all the instruments eventually over the years, right? And yeah, so that's how I got more and more into music. And but when it came time to go to college, my parents were like, you better not study music.
Whoops.
Because, you know, I mean, at that time we had no idea. We didn't know anything about this industry, and we couldn't kind of imagine the future. So they were like, okay, get a stable job, right? Which is what all parents tell their kids, and it's good. So I went into engineering, went to electrical engineering. My dad was a mechanical engineer, but growing up, I was kind of attracted to wires and lights and switches and things. So I was like, okay, let's do electrical. It was tough, man. It was crazy tough. But I made it out, graduated 4 years, and then I got my first job at a consulting firm. So I was a consulting engineer for 3.5 years. Now I got to rewind back to, let's say, 2003. My mom started teaching at a homeschool center. She was an accountant. She became a housewife to take care of me when I was born. And then when I was like 15, 16, she got a job as a teacher at a homeschool center. And one of her students was a 10-year-old girl named Elizabeth Tan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Name sounds familiar.
Familiar name, yeah. So I would finish Form 3 school. I would finish early. I finish at 1. Take the bus over to her school. She finishes later at 3. So that's where I would meet all her students and just waiting for her to finish work lah. So that's where I met Elizabeth. And then as we kind of grew up together.
Name drop.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got to play guitar on her church album. And her dad was like, "Oh, you're pretty good. Why don't you play for my daughter?" And I was like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Oh, I sing. You play guitar? Let's like do something." And we started to perform together in church. So growing up through high school, through uni, like when I was done with school or done with uni, I would go perform with her somewhere. And even when I was working as an engineer, after work, clock out, change into a t-shirt, go and play a show for her. So there was always like a bit of music in my life, even though I was working as an engineer.
Yeah.
So she made the decision to go full time head on into the industry and sign with Paranormal Records at that time. Now it's known as Zeno Records. So this was 2014. And about a year later, after the boss Prashan saw everything that I was doing for Elizabeth, because I would arrange her music, direct the band, schedule the rehearsals, get everything ready for her shows. And he was like, since you can do all this, why not you quit your engineering job and come work for me? So at that time, I was like, oh, okay. Still young, living with my parents, driving my mom's car, not married yet. If anything, now's the time to do it, before anything. So I asked my then girlfriend, Janice, if I quit my engineering job, you okay? Then she's like, okay, I'll try lah. Because she was not married to me, so anything she can, So I gave it a shot. And after 1 year, I was like, oh, looks like this is a viable
It's like
career.
You could do this. This will work out,
Yeah, thank God.
I remember that we had this conversation about the time and you asking about, joining Paranormal back then.
Yeah.
Shout out to Prashan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Best boss.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah. And so, and through my time at Paranormal, I did anything and everything to do with music. So preparing the scores for the musicians to perform, registering the songs on the distribution platform, cutting the caller ringtones, producing the YouTube covers for the artist promo, following the artist to interviews, to perform with them, anything and everything to do with music I did. And through that journey, I got to meet awesome producers and songwriters who were doing the singles for the Paranormal artists at that time. So that's how I got to meet Audie Mock. And at that time, it was Audie, Omar, Ezra, Shazi, Kim. They were all in one office in Fuse at Jalan Utara. So I would go there and watch them work, and I was completely mind blown because I've never seen anyone do music production at that level, that quality, and just how amazing the songs were. And at that moment, it kind of stirred in me that, I think I could do this. I think I could focus on this.
Yeah.
And through that, Omar called me to play guitar on his songs that he was producing because he saw that I could play guitar for Elizabeth and stuff. And that's when I got to first see Cubase, Trillion, all these amazing VSTs and guitar rig. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. So over the years, Omar kind of kept in touch with me, showed me all the stuff that he was doing. And one day in 2017, he was like, John, I have too many songs. Would you like to produce one? I can just pass this to you and you try. So I was like, okay, cool. So at that time it was for Ultimate, and Ultimate was looking for a song, and he was on this mission for his album Air, where his mantra was like Bruce Lee, be like water. So his challenge was ask the producer for anything, any beat that they think is suitable for him. He will change his style to suit the music that the producer gives him. So he won't tell the producer what to do. So at that time, I was getting into dangdut. Interestingly enough, shout out to Aida Jebat for introducing me to dangdut, because before that, I never listened to dangdut. So I was listening to Inul Daratista, and I was like, oh, why don't I give Ultimate like a dangdut type of song, He hadn't done anything dangdut influenced before. It was like very hip hop based, right? So I came up with the beat for the song, and Omar was like, yeah, this is good, we can use this. And we came up with the melody together, and Ultimate came in and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And that's how Bunga was written. It was like, I think one of the first few songs that I had ever produced. So Bunga is about loans, like you take a loan and then the loan got bunga and you cannot pay back the bunga, So it's about financial woes and taking loans that you can't pay back. And wow, would you know it, thank God that song went to AJL. Suddenly you were like, wow, okay. And this was when I kind of realized like, okay, I think I can do this for the rest of my life. Songwrite and write songs and produce.
That is amazing, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, crazy journey. And also, I mean, my parents, they were like, okay, is this okay? Is it a viable career? And so that year, I got to take my mom to AJL at Stadium Melawati. And then she sat through the whole thing and she saw everything. And she's like, wow, okay, I guess this is okay.
And finally, finally, that's what it takes to convince them, okay? Convince the parents.
And she was really convinced the next morning when she was out in her garden and the neighbor was watering the plants and the neighbor was like, Auntie, semalam I tengok you kat TV lah. You pergi AJL lah. Then she was like, okay.
That sealed the deal.
Yeah, that sealed the deal. Yeah.
It was not her son, doing and achieving this great accomplishment. It was her being seen on TV.
Yeah.
Sealed the deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to your mom.
Shout out to mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fast forward, that's 2017, right?
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, 2018. And fast forward 2022. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Shout out to my wife also for sticking with me through thick and thin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to all the wives of musicians and producers and anyone who's in the music industry,
yeah,
it takes a special someone to be able to tolerate and to accept and to live with us. Yeah.
Yes. Both the thick and thin of my bank account and also my tummy.
Oh, man. Yeah. So I mean, that is, what, though, from my perspective and the way that I think anyone on the outside who would see this, it would seem like, John, you just came out of nowhere, right? It was like a meteoric rise, lah. It's a common, cliche phrase to use, yeah. But I think with everyone, definitely has a story, of that people don't know, and I'm glad that you're here to kind of share where your background was, and obviously that was 2017, 2018. You joined Paranormal, and that was definitely those couple of years working there. It's almost essentially like an education in music business, right?
Yep.
It's like you were going for music business degree on the job training, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I had to learn like on the spot. Yeah.
It's like on the job training, and but what better way, to sort of learn something than to just be tossed into the fire. And
it was really the heyday. Now looking back, there was a time in Paranormal where I would have 30 artists under my care.
Yep.
And it was like all during the time of their meteoric rise as well. So we had Elizabeth when she was new to the industry.
Yep.
Same for Ida Jebat, DFM, Diane Trisha, Aisha Aziz.
Yeah.
It's like all the superstars when they were first starting out were there with me.
There were so many artists in the roster, and I remember of course the office, and there were so many people in the office there.
Yeah, and JD helped us spec our studio.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, because of you, I got to play with the RME Fireface, which is still there until today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a super solid
cool
unit.
Yeah, super cool, man. Prashant's one of the people that I want to talk to and talk about, with all the things that he's done and all the future plans that he has as well. Yeah, I'm gotta call him out and hit him up one of these days to talk on this. Yeah, super. So let's go to some technical geeky stuff. That's where maybe some of the audience will be more interested in that stuff. See, I got my list of questions here.
Nice.
Okay, so
batter's box.
Now, right? Let's turn this and then randomly poke one and see which question it lands on.
Okay.
Next time I should do that lah. Just for gimmick.
Spin a wheel.
Or like a darts thing.
Oh yeah.
Then, okay, landed on this question. Yeah. So, what's your setup like now?
So I have two setups, but they really are very similar. One is like a baby version of the other. So Source Studio 1 has my Audient ID 44. Yeah. So that's my audio interface.
Yep.
And I have the Slate ML1 mic. goes right into that. For a MIDI controller, I have the Native Instruments S49 first generation. And I have the Mackie MR624 monitors.
Right, yep.
And my secondary pair of monitors is a tiny pair of Logitech Z120. Yeah, very reliable for checking
those small speakers, man.
Yeah. I've got the Samsung monitor. It's 27-inch curved. I've got an arm. One screen. I work on one screen. I see a lot of guys working with 2-3 screens, but for me, it's kind of hard to do that. And then you have to replicate it at home. Otherwise, when I open a project, the same windows won't come up. And if I'm on the go, it's messy. So I just kind of trained myself to work with one screen. And I'm happy with that.
Running on Mac or PC?
I'm on PC. I'm on a Asus ROG gaming laptop. Spec'd by Ezra Kong, who we met earlier today.
Shout out to Ezra. Shout out to a lot of people. We so happened to actually bump into Ezra just before we came here, and we dragged him into the studio for a chat as well. Another person to talk to lah. So DAW. Okay, so when I first started out, I was on. This was 2013, 2014. I had a MacBook at the time. So I started on GarageBand. Outgrew GarageBand and upgraded to Logic. And I was happily on Logic until I met the gang at Fuse, which is Audi, Omar, Ezra, Kim, Shazi, and everybody was on Cubase. So they were like, if you want to work with us, it's a lot easier to exchange projects if you're on Cubase. So then I made the jump to Cubase. This was 2016. At that time, it was Cubase 8.5. So through the years, I've just upgraded, and now I'm on 11, Cubase Pro 11. I have messed around with almost every DAW because I'm very geeky. I'll try everything just to see what I can squeeze out of it. So I've played with Ableton, Studio One, most recently Reaper. So I just like to experiment. Team Cubase.
Team Cubase for now until I get itchy and try something. I'm just itchy like that. Every 2 years and try something else.
No, for me, I am invested already into down this path. Is like you will not see me on Pro Tools or anything. But then again, never say never, right?
Yeah, never say never.
As you grow older, you mature, you always learn to always be open to possibilities. It's like if something really groundbreaking does something that I can't do on Cubase and does it better, then hey, let's go over there lah, I mean, with the M1 Max, when M1 Max came out, I was very, very tempted to go down that route because of the incredible amount of the processing power, the jump that it offered with the Intel chips, you see.
Yeah. I would have jumped, but then I carefully checked all the manufacturers of whose plugins.
Yes.
And like, this won't work. Oh, cannot.
That's the thing.
2 years down the line, still some of them like, oh no, we have not.
Yeah.
But most of them have.
Then M2 is around the corner.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, are you going to go down there? Yeah. So I think I was just talking to another engineer the other day. So I think he just bought an M1 MacBook.
Oh.
And then they announced M2. He was like,
But if you're investing in Apple, you really should learn their schedule. They're fairly consistent. Yeah.
Like every X number of years is what.
Yeah.
So you can predict, when. So like, hold off,
Yeah. But from M1 to M2, I think compatibility-wise it won't be so bad. Like the developers of plugins and software would have caught up because it's the architecture, it's the silicon thing.
Yep.
So once they get that, it should be fairly easy.
Hopefully lah, yeah, So otherwise it'd be like, it's like I just had some issue with Wavelab earlier today. Hey,
okay.
Steinberg, okay, if you're listening. Like they just put out the update for Wavelab 11.1, like an update, you see.
Yeah, I saw them post that.
It was just in the installed it, cannot work. Something's wrong.
Oh.
So it's like, luckily I still have the installer for my previous version. Uninstall and then, install back. Oh, okay, it's working fine.
Yeah.
So it must be some bug lah, because it's like Literally, the update came in my inbox. I went and installed it. Lesson learned. Wait first. But thankfully, it wasn't Cubase. It
Yeah.
was just Wavelab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on Windows 10?
Okay. I'm still on Windows 7.
Oh.
Long, complicated issue. The thing is, and I'm still on Cubase 10.5. The thing is that I think Cubase 11 can only run on Windows 10, right? 11
maybe.
onwards.
Yeah.
Yes, can only be on 11 onwards. That's why I have the license for it. I bought 11 and I actually bought 12 as well already.
Oh
I bought
my.
license of 12, but I cannot install it because it needs to run on Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot install Windows 10 because my hardware won't support it.
Oh my.
So it's like, okay, looks like I gotta change the whole shebang, okay? Yeah.
But
the
you
whole-
must have used it for a good number of years already.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so it's definitely, I've amortized the thing many times over. So, like squeezing out and then I think busy out there will know, some projects are like taking like forever to load for some weird reason, even though it's like, it's not even a mix, there's not a lot of plugins on it. So I don't know, maybe it's time.
Omar K just made the jump last year. He also was on Windows 7
Yeah.
for a long time. And then last year he was like, okay, time to upgrade. He just changed the whole CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I guess when you really have no choice, then you have to. I don't see the time. It's close to lah, probably lah. Maybe this year lah. But sometimes in order to do that, you got to have some downtime.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
You can't be doing it in the middle of
Yeah.
projects.
Yes.
Yeah. What if something goes wrong? What if an install goes wrong? This again lah. This
Yeah.
plugin not so bad. Plugin if something goes wrong, you find something else to work around it lah. Yeah.
When switching from my old laptop to my current one, I had to get an Excel sheet out with all the plugins and how their licenses are activated and which accounts they are on and what are the steps to deactivate and reactivate. Because some, it doesn't matter. You just erase, log in on the new computer and log in. Some is like, you have to take the license and carefully put it on the cloud, retrieve it in the new machine.
Yeah.
I needed an Excel sheet to sort everything out, all the different manufacturers. Yeah.
That is one of the things lah. Nowadays you need to be partially an IT whiz as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I was actually just talking to Soyasu.
Oh, okay.
Sure. He's Hans Zimmer's assistant engineer. So he also tells me that's actually one, as the engineers, that's a big part of their job. They need to be IT experts.
Yeah.
Always checking the updates, making sure this is everything. It's like, you go to an audio school, you go to, Berkeley Full Sail or whatever, SAE, study all that. When you come out, you need to know how to program, how to code, how to troubleshoot IT stuff. Yeah.
I'm the IT guy at my office.
Yeah.
So if Omar or Iki or DAWs has a tech problem, I'm always on call. Kenapa buka Cubase tak ada bunyi? I'm like, okay, let's go through one by one. Yeah,
but that's fun, man. That's interesting. That's how everything has evolved lah. So
yeah, I don't regret my engineering degree at all at this point.
Well, at least you don't have to go in and solder things and and take out chips and components. That's a whole different.
That's different. Yeah, that's like hand skills. I'm terrible at that.
Yeah. If what's your favorite piece of gear then in your whole studio?
Ooh. Favorite piece of gear?
Yeah. If you need
hardware or software? Maybe we should do both.
Yeah, maybe one in each category.
One each. Okay. Favorite piece of gear, hardware? I'm gonna go with the Slate ML1 mic. Yeah, because I record so many singers and it's all pop, but pop covers like so many different genres. So if I get a singer, sometimes it's the C800G model that works for that song. And then if it's a ballad, maybe it's the Telefunken 251. And just having the ability to, after recording, try one by one and see what tone fits the voice and the song.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really invaluable to me. And also the price. It's like, I got it like 2K plus from Sweetwater.
During the promotion, right? They're actually running. The promotion is running now.
Yeah, every once a year he does it. So so that is one piece of gear that, God forbid, if something happens to it, I would just run out and buy it, the same thing again.
Right,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
With anything else that fails, I think I'll be tempted to, it failed. Let's see if I can look for a nicer alternative or something else. But the Slate mic, tough to beat. I mean, there are maybe nicer ones like the Townsend one, but the price is like triple.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I think you explained it to me before, but for the benefit lah, like how do you work with the ML1?
Okay, so the ML1, the hardware is just a microphone, large diaphragm condenser.
Yep.
Supposedly flat in nature, as flat as possible, solid state, no tube, nothing. Plug it in, send it phantom power, record it, and then there's a plugin.
Yeah.
And the plugin will apply the sound or the modeling, the EQ curve or the saturation of various famous mics. So there's like, by default, it comes with like 8 models. So there's the Sony C800G, there's a Telefunken 251, Neumann U47, 87.
Yeah. But do you use it during the tracking itself? Right? When you're like recording and you're monitoring it, do you monitor through that plugin and do you audition the mic models during the recording itself?
So my setup doesn't have a DSP based component. It's all on my laptop. So due to the latency, I'm not able to track or record through plugins. So what I'll do is they monitor the mic direct through the audio interface. So they're hearing it without the modeling during the recording session. So I apply it later.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, there obviously there's different ways of people knowing to apply it lah. Technically, because you have the license for the mic model packs, technically you don't even need a mic, right? You could just use.
You could use it
something.
on any microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume
you paid for the
software.
Yeah.
You could use it on any microphone, I think. I haven't tried it, so I don't know what the results will be like.
Yeah. So you just leave it flat, just the mic itself.
Yep.
Just the mic capture, and then you will just audition the mics later during the mix lah.
Yeah.
To maximum flexibility.
Yeah. That's the way I like it.
Nice. Yeah. Everyone's got. I'm the more old school guy. Like go and through the mic with the compression and everything on.
Yeah.
Right then it's like, okay, that's it. Go with it. Yeah.
Do you like audition mics when like a singer comes? Do you like try 2 different mics and see which is the one for them, or you kind of have a feel for what?
I wish I had more. Obviously, I wish I had more microphones, but I sort of kind of know what will work on everyone. So at the moment, what I'm using lah, I'm using a Lewitt that works great lah. I know that's gonna work great for almost any kind of a source.
That's the 440, right?
440, yeah.
Does it let you blend between 2 different circuits? No. Oh, okay, that's the higher end Lewitt.
That is, yeah. It's the same capsule. It's just that, as the high end, they have more features lah. The polar patterns and stuff like that. This podcast is the one we've been mentioning the most brands, man. So they better sponsor, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the ML1 is something really tempting that I've been considering as well.
Yeah.
Plus it's on sale.
Yeah, for the price it's...
And then it's like, but now currency exchange rate is gone a little higher. So, but still, whenever the sale is on, still a good deal for a mic that's like 2K plus, right? Less than, or maybe close to 3K? Maybe?
Yeah. Close to 3.
Yeah, close to 3K. Still,
Yeah. For what you get.
Yeah. What's the next thing? What
software, I guess.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention that.
So hardware, software. Ooh, tough pick. What can I not live without? I think Melodyne. Yeah, if I had to pick only one, I think without Melodyne, I might not have a career. I think. Yeah, because like it's such an important thing, vocals. And getting them in tune, getting them in time. And now my latest craze is this new macro. They had an amplitude tool, right? So you can click a note and make it louder or softer.
Yeah.
And they've had macros for pitch and timing before, where you can grab all the notes, slide the macro, and it will take all the notes and push them to the nearest semitone. So now they have a macro for volume.
Mm-hmm.
So they have two sliders. One is make the loud notes quieter and make the quiet notes louder. Have you tried that macro?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just
see.
Control A, select all the notes that the singer sang, and drag the loud notes quieter and drag the quiet notes louder. And it's as
It's
if
like
someone has done the clip gain.
It's
Yeah, so that saves me a ton of time because this is new. Like I'm just starting to use this thing. Before this, I would get a vocal. It would be I record without compression, so it's super dynamic. I would have like a 2A slamming 20 dB of gain reduction just to get get it like up front and pop and all that. And of course, you get the associated artifacts like the pumping, the breathing, and the hard consonants at the front that come out very hard because of the compression. But now, thanks to this macro, it's like I can get away with a lot less compression and still upfront.
Okay.
Of course, it removes the natural dynamics of the vocal performance, but depending on the song and the genre, that might be what you want.
Exactly what you need.
Because I've been thinking about it before this. I've been editing the pitch, editing the timing, taking out the mouth clicks. I've been doing absolutely everything to edit the performance. Why not level out the volume while I'm at it? And it does make my job easier.
That's interesting. I why would you choose that versus, let's say, because you and I we're both Cubase users. Why Melodyne over Very Audio? Yeah. Melodyne versus Very Audio.
Melodyne versus Very Audio. For me, I still hear glitches with Very Audio when I try and shift a note. It just sometimes doesn't sound natural to me. I hear like a fuzzy, sizzly kind of thing when I use Very Audio to tune vocals. If I'm in a rush and there's a bunch of backing vocals and I need to just change one or two notes, I might just quickly Very Audio it and it'll be fine. I can get away with it. But for like the main lead vocal, I will always notice some kind of artifact with Very Audio. But that's just me. Like Ezra, I've spoken to Ezra. He uses Very Audio a lot and he's fine with it. So I think it's just a preference thing.
Yeah.
And also Melodyne has the polyphonic mode. So if I grab a loop or a sample that's playing chords or movement and I want to change the chord, Melodyne is
okay.
the
Yeah,
bomb.
that one is. I don't know whether 12. The latest version of Very Audio has that yet. I don't know.
I think not. Because
yet,
I
right?
watched the Cubase 12 one, still no. Still Melodyne's the only
One that has the polyphonic. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully soon. Yeah. One of these days. Maybe Very Audio Cubase Steinberg will catch up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of course lah. I think with any kind of this kind of editing software, every time you push it over a certain limit, there is always going to be some artifacts lah.
Yeah.
What else? What other questions do I want to throw into the mix?
Are you a Melodyne or Very Audio?
No, I'm Very Audio.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a very audio person. Like I said lah, I'm invested into this into the entire ecosystem lah. I've been dragged into the Cubase world. Right. This is all thanks to Greg Henderson. Thanks to him. I think he's the one who actually dragged everyone who uses Cubase or It's all thanks to him lah. So entrenched into that ideology and that team and everything. Is like, no, I refuse to use other things.
Yeah.
But maybe it's time worth to sometimes check out, because this feature they talk about, then it's a really cool time saving feature. I don't think. No, there's nothing like that in Very Audio, right? That doesn't have something.
Also, the great thing about Cubase and other DAWs as well, they have this thing called ARA2.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to scan the audio into Melodyne anymore on an insert.
That's right.
You just double click and it can open up.
Yeah.
So that is a huge
time saver as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, 10.5 still not. 10 is not. I think 11 only. It's only start to support. So for now, sorry, I think no. Actually, 10 already has, but it has to be Windows 10 onwards.
Okay,
so,
correct.
See, there's another dilemma of still being stuck on Windows 7.
Windows 10 is great. I love it. There's a lot of settings that you have to do to make it optimized for audio production and minimize all the background interferences. But once you get that, and there are many blogs online that list all the things that you should do.
Yeah.
I love Windows 10. It's actually very, very stable for audio.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm convinced. Okay, you just need to find the time and the downtime to go and get down and do it lah.
Yeah, a whole weekend non-stop maybe. Do you use a lot of plugins from a lot of manufacturers, or have you kind of scaled down over the years?
Actually, I do. I do use a lot. A lot. But I've done the fresh installs enough times that I'm quite okay with it lah. I'm not worried about it. I do same like you. I also do keep my authorizations, but it's in my email. Hopefully, I don't lose my email lah. If my email account get hacked, then okay, then one is gone lah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Maybe it's a good idea to start taking all those information down and
Excel sheet,
keeping some kind of not even a computer. print it out or something and print it out or write it out and put it in a folder somewhere. Yeah. So speaking of Melodyne lah.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, I think that's the one that makes the biggest difference.
Awesome. Okay. Right. So sponsor. So let's talk about, maybe you mentioned earlier, right? You during the pandemic, you were working on Dato Siti's song. What was the title again?
Siapa Tak Mahu.
Tak Mahu. Yeah. And then you talked about Bunga, right? Ultimate song. Shout out Ultimate.
Okay. Neighbor.
Neighbor. Yeah. Technically, no. Yeah. Let's not give away locations and addresses. Okay.
Yeah.
After doxing. So yeah. Besides these two, I mean, is there any other thing that you would consider your? I mean, you mentioned the Malaysia Blessing as well. That I would already say is like 3 works which are. I was about to ask you, what would your proudest projects or your productions that you've worked on lah?
Right. One more. Let me see. Most recently, Dollar, the girl group.
Oh right.
The song is Berani. Yeah, that was wow for me because this one was very special because their previous 2 singles, maybe before, they asked me for a song were done by Swedish producers. So the benchmark was super high. And I was listening to those couple of 2 songs like, okay, it has to at least sound as good as this so that when people skip through the playlist, my song doesn't sound like weirdly out of context. So I really pushed myself and like, okay, how do you get the mastering? How do you get the high end, like bright but smooth? And how do you get the vocal? And so it was a lot of things that I had to really get in, and I grew a lot through that process. And also because they are a group, there's 4 of them, so figuring out how to layer their vocals and edit everything so that it sounds smooth. Yeah, that experience taught me a lot of things that I apply in all my songs now. So yeah, Dollar Berani is one of the big songs that I'm really proud of. And yeah, also because their fan base is so strong, their fans would reach out and message me on Instagram and stuff and thank me for the song and encourage me to keep going on. And like, it's cool because most of them are kids. Some of them were 17, 18, and they would tell me like, oh, I'm sitting for SPM this year. And one of my SPM questions was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I answered, I want to be like John Jeeves because he writes nice songs. And it was like, it's mind-blowing the kind of impact that you have on kids. And I told them like, okay, after you finish your last paper, we're going to get on a Zoom call. I'll get on a Zoom call with you and Omar and like give like career talk to help you.
And to help dissuade you from getting this. Like, no, don't. Shoot down the dreams right before they get started.
Yeah, I think, I mean, at that age, I think they should try. They should try. If it works out, okay, great. If it doesn't work out, they got time to
fall
pursue.
back to something else. Yeah,
if you're going to do it when
When you're young.
When you're living with your parents. When you're driving.
When you can afford to.
When you're driving their car, when you're not paying rent, when you're not married. Best time to try because you are allowed to fail. You're allowed to fail. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Too much pressure.
Yeah, that sort of segues to actually a good and my next answer, which is like, what advice would you give for any young up and coming aspiring songwriters, music producers out there?
Right. For me, I think it's getting to know yourself first before you even try. Because if you want to try to get a career in the music industry, there are many, many opportunities. And just recently, just last week, I attended a talk by Aubrey Suito, Jen Thompson, and Sheila Majid. And they were giving a career talk to like university students as well. And they put forward that talent is very important. You have to have some sort of inclination and talent, and then you supplement it with skills that you can pick up and then you can learn, and then you can do music in the industry. But at the same time, if you are not talented in the musical sense but you still have a passion for music, there's many areas that you can work in. If you go into label or you go into publishing or you go into stuff,
management,
you can still be close to the music without actually having to play or sing, So getting to know yourself first is key, because over the years, Omar and I have met a few young people and they feel that, I want to be music producer, songwriter. But after they try it for a while, right, they discover that their real dream is to be an artist. And for me, that was not the case, because for me, when I want to write a song, or if I want to come up with something, I'm always thinking about the listener. Are people going to enjoy this? Are people going to relate to this? Is this shock sendiri, or is this something that the mass will enjoy? And I always write it with, okay, I'm going to write this song and Ernie's going to sing it. I'm going to write this song and Dolla is going to sing it. I always think that way. So kind of like more of like a service kind of thing. Like, okay, I'm writing this for you. You deliver it to the people. The people love the song. I'm happy. But for some other people, they want to, they may not realize it immediately, but they want to be the one who sings the song, and they want to write about stuff that's really personal to them, and they want to express themselves, and they're not really thinking about whether, if the general public listens to this, will they enjoy it or not. So you have to kind of ask yourself questions like that and know how you feel about music and what is music to you, and then you can kind of make a more educated, directed guess as to what you want to do in the industry.
Yeah. I think that's a very, very good point, and important point for anyone who's getting into this. You got to know yourself, right?
Yeah.
Know yourself, know what the reasons you are doing it for.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned there, there's talent, right? There's the innate talent. There's the skills, right? And I don't know. I always say there needs to be that opportunity. There is some amount of luck as well.
Yeah.
If you are going, you want to be that, go down that road, as a performing artist, a recording artist, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. These things need to come into play.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of them, if you are new, you have the talent, you have the songwriting chops and the skills, but sometimes if you don't have the image, combination and all luck, then that also is like, that's also going to be a hurdle. And somebody has to break the bad news to them, So that's the reality lah. I mean, so for people who are thinking of exactly, what if it was that 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, that would be your advice lah. That would be what you would tell them.
Yeah. Get to know yourself and get to know yourself, and also at that age, at 17, 18, when you're finishing SPM and you're looking to go into college, I would say honor your parents. Yeah, honor your parents and their wishes. Because they only want what's best for you. If they are concerned that, you may not have an opportunity, this and that, it's not a bad idea to have a safe degree in whatever career, whether lawyer, doctor, engineer, and pursue music on the side as well. Because in order to have a career in music, you really, really have to be very passionate and very, very obsessed about it.
100%.
To a point where even if you're working as a lawyer or doctor or engineer, you will make that time to invest into your music, and it will grow. And if there's an opportunity for it, it can take off until you can resign from your full-time job. Case in point, I have a new producer in my office. Her name is Hanis. she graduated with a degree in medicine. She's going to be a doctor. Quit music producer now. Yeah.
But of course, the word of cautionary tale is that this is not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
It is not for everyone,
Yeah.
lah. So, I mean, if I think definitely within you that seed was there, and that seed was so strong, right? That even though you had other things, you were like a career in an engineering job and all of that, but if you really nurtured and watered that seed with a lot of passion, with a lot of hard work, a lot of humility,
Yeah.
then it can grow, you know? I mean,
Yes.
it's a cliche.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the trees over in your textile. That's why
Yeah.
I'm thinking of trees and then plants growing.
Yeah. But yeah, I do realize, there's one thing I haven't said yet. You to have a career in the music industry and to last, you have to be absolutely obsessed. Like, I think a lot of people might not like to hear it, because I think a lot of the younger generation now, they're into the work-life balance thing, which is healthy. It's good. It's a pushback against toxic working environments where you work until you die. But music is one of those industries where you have to be obsessed. For me, basically every waking moment is either thinking about mixing or writing or producing.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
If you don't have that obsession, it can be hard to last. Like, you might be able to do it for a while, but after a while it will get to you, you know, unless you're absolutely obsessed. And because working is a very practical thing. You do it and you are serving clients, and you may have an artist or a label who has different ideas from you. So can you handle that? Can you adapt your music or your arrangement to suit what they want, make yourself happy, and sell the song at the same time without taking it in some kind of personal way and like, no, I must be like this. If not, I'm not going to do it, and you throw it aside. Then, then that won't work out for you either, you know.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding this magical balance. And oh my goodness, you need to have this conversation with Ezra Kong as well. Like, he can really weigh in on the psychology of all this.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up then. But before we wrap, maybe let me just ask this. This is a cliche question that I ask everyone lah.
Okay.
Right? And then it's like, whatever first thing that comes to your mind. What is music to you, John?
What is music to me?
What is music?
Wow. Okay, let's take a few seconds. What is music?
Take all the time you want.
I think music, to me, it is the most powerful language. It is the most powerful language because it can not only convey meaning, but it can convey a feeling. So for me, when I write a song, right, the goal of my song is to make the listener feel something for 3 minutes. Either that or it's to make them dance or whatever. But the point is for them to have a reaction to something that I create.
Yeah.
Either the song makes them sad, or it makes them happy, or it makes them to relate to a favorite memory that they have or something. And the power to do this and to use music as a tool to do this is something really special, because it really transcends everything. Like, even if you and your listener don't speak the same language, when they hear your song, they feel a certain way.
Yep.
And it's so surreal to me sometimes, because I would go out and I would be in a shopping mall and I would hear my song play in the background, and I would see people walking past and they're like nodding their heads and enjoying it, and they have no idea that the guy who wrote the song is like walking next to them. Or I go into Subway and the people like making the sandwiches there are humming along something that I wrote, and it's like, wow, something that I came up with is deeply impacting this person, and they don't even know that it's me on the other side of the counter ordering the sandwich. So those kind of surreal moments is what really sparks joy for me. So it's like the most powerful language.
Yep. Nicely put. Anything upcoming? Anything to look out for? By the time this comes out, it'll probably be actually middle of August, maybe.
Okay.
In terms of how I'm scheduling stuff.
Cool.
Anything to look forward to? Anything to check out? Any interesting stuff?
This year, well, I'm constantly writing songs all the time and working on them. And sometimes the release schedule, I'm not very sure. But what I can say is, for now, I think keep an eye on Sheha Zikir. She is coming up with a few songs that I worked on. I think they are coming out throughout this year. Also keep an eye out for Zizan Razak. Zizan Razak has a movie called Abang Long Fadil 3.
Oh, okay.
There might be something in that movie that you
okay.
guys... That one's coming out, I think, in September. So keep your eyes peeled for that movie.
So maybe, maybe it'll be in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we, if people want to reach you, social media?
Oh, yeah. Social media is John Jeeves everywhere. JOHNJEEVES.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. Twitter, Insta, I think Facebook as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I'm mostly on Insta and Twitter. Mostly Insta, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super, man. Thanks for doing this again.
Thank you for having me.
It's been, it's so good to catch up with you after so long.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Yeah. Pleasure or pressure?
Both.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's wrap this up. I'll go say goodbye then. All right. See you in another one. Bye.